moving right along here. Curt Cignetti, what are you doing? What are you doing? Now, look, I'm going to talk to the Big Ten people and I'm going to talk to the SEC people here, okay? I've spent all offseason beating my own SEC people over the head because the Big Ten was the best conference last year. So they're right on that right now. Now, the SEC was the best conference for 15, 20, 25 years, whatever it was, and eventually they will be again. Maybe they will be again this year. But last year, the Big Ten was the best conference. So I've gone to bat for the Big Ten there, argued with SEC homers who don't believe that. But it's just true, okay? It's just true. The SEC should be playing 9 games. That's just a fact. The SEC has gone from 10 teams to 12 teams to 14 teams to 16 teams, yet they're staying at 8 conference games. It doesn't make any sense. I don't care about the Big Ten crying. Like, that's not why. I don't think the SEC should go to 9 games to placate the Big Ten or to appease the Big Ten. I think the SEC should go to 9 games the same reason I thought the SEC should go to 9 games last year and the year before that and the year before that. You've added all these new teams to the league, but you're staying at 8 conference games. What's the result of that? Texas A&M's been in the SEC almost 15 years. Georgia's never played there. When was the last time Florida played at Auburn, or Auburn played at Florida, or Texas A&M played at Kentucky? Or you can find these sort of anomalies for every team in the SEC where there are certain stadiums they haven't played at in 10, 15, 20 years. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know why are Georgia and Texas A&M even in the same conference? You've got to add games to your conference when you go from 10, 12, 14, now 16 teams. That's my issue. You've added all these teams to the conference, but they're not playing each other. What's the point? You've got to go to 9. The other argument, and look, yeah, it's going to result in 9 more losses total if you add a 9th conference game. We gotta stop these FCS games in the middle of November. No one wants to watch that. It's just, I'm all for teams playing an FCS team if they want to, but do it at the beginning of the year. It is a bad look for the SEC. Let's just call it like it is. Even if you think, well, the SEC is better and the strength of schedule of 8 games is harder than 9 games or whatever. Why are we playing FCS teams in the middle of November? That's bad. That's just bad. It's bad football. It's bad TV. It's bad for the sport. It's just, come on. We got to do away with that. That's bad. Georgia does. Every SEC team has been guilty of it in certain years. Some teams do it every year. So look, that's my sort of rant against the SEC, okay? Now here's my rant against the Big Ten and Curt Cignetti. You need to shut your fucking mouth, dude. I went to bat for Indiana last year. I think if you go 11-1, you should be in the playoffs over a team that goes 9-3. If we're talking Power 4 conferences. Yes, some conferences are better than others in a given year. One year, the SEC might be better than the Big Ten. One year, the Big 12 might be better than the ACC. A couple of years down the road, the ACC might be better than the SEC in one given year. You can't go around changing the rules of the game every single year based on which conference you think is better than which. We've got to come up with some sort of standard approach here that, look, if you go 11-1 in a Power 4 conference, you're going to get in the playoffs over some dumbass that went 9-3 and lost to Vandy in Oklahoma. That's a losing argument for the SEC to use Bama from last year. It's not like Bama lost to 3 great teams. Yeah, Bama lost 3 games, but look at the schedule. Look at they play. They lost to Vandy, dude. Like it's a losing argument. But to the Indiana man, to Curt Cignetti, you just need to shut the fuck up, okay? Yeah, you deserve to be in the playoffs last year because you went 11-1. You didn't play a team with a winning record until what, week 12? You played one ranked team. You lost. You lost your playoff game. You're going 6-6 this year, my guy, because I said so. That's why. I haven't even done an Indiana prediction video, but I don't care what I have to do. I'm going to do an Indiana prediction video, and I'm going to have them going 6-6 just to shut this guy up. Indiana's not some kind of great program. They had a good year. So did TCU a couple of years ago. Where are they at now? Michigan State made the playoffs 8-9 years ago, whatever it was. They can't win a game today. In fact, they got beat in the playoffs 38-0. So, we can pat you on your little peanut head and tell you that you had a good season last year. And Uncle Luke can even tell you, I think you deserve to be in the playoffs. Okay. But just running your mouth bullshit about how, well, we took Virginia off our schedule because we're copying the SEC. You're dumber than fuck, dude. You're dumber than a bag of fucking dead batteries. You have removed every Power 4 opponent from your schedule from now to the end of time. Non-con. Every single non-con game that Indiana has scheduled from now to the end of time is against FCS or Group of 5 teams. In some years, they play 2 FCS teams and 1 Group of 5 team. No non-conference Power 4 opponents. And yes, the SEC plays 8 conference games, but Alabama's playing 10 Power 4 opponents this year. 8 SEC teams, Wisconsin and Florida State. Georgia, in both years that they won the national title, played 10 Power 4 teams in the regular season. They played Clemson and Oregon one year, and the Clemson and who was the other one? They played Clemson and Georgia Tech one year, and Oregon and Georgia Tech the other. The 9 conference game schedule and then 0 non-conference Power 4 opponents is bitch made, you pussy. Being afraid to play Virginia is about the weakest fucking thing Uncle Lou has ever seen. And to come out and say the reason you remove Virginia from your schedule is because you're copying the SEC scheduling model makes you look like a fucking retard, dude. Nobody likes you. Do you know that? Nobody likes you. You show up at a program that nobody can find on a map and yell at reporters to Google you. I Googled you, and it said that you were a giant fucking pussy who was scared to play Virginia. That's what it said. Running around telling people to Google you. You've been a Power 4 coach for 1 fucking year. How many wins against ranked teams do you have? Dummy. How many? How many? Guess what? We're all going to get the last laugh. We're all going to get the last laugh. Signetti. Look at this. Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, and Indiana State. What a fucking joke. What a fucking joke. This looks like Ohio State's non-con schedule from last year. This looks like Michigan's non-con schedule from 2 years ago. Why is it that when the Big Ten, the only way the Big Ten can win a natty is by playing 0 Power 4 opponents in the non-con? Why is that? Michigan wins the natty in 23. They played 0 Power 4 non-con opponents during the season. Ohio State wins the natty in 24. They played 0 non-con opponents during the regular season. Georgia wins the natty. They play 2 non-con Power 4 opponents and beat the ever-loving fuck out of both of them. And in one of the years they won the natty, they beat the fuck out of Michigan. And in the next year that they won the natty, they beat the fucking soul out of Ohio State. But that's fine, Indiana. You'll be 3-0. But then guess what? Illinois, loss. At Iowa, loss. At Oregon, loss. At Penn State, loss. You'll lose either UCLA or Michigan State, one of those. You might lose to Wisconsin. You might lose at Maryland. You'll probably beat Purdue because me and the next 10 people to comment could beat Purdue. But either way, you're going 6-6 or 7-5. So luckily, this dog shit press conference that you gave at Big Ten Media Days, this will be the last that we have to hear from your stupid ass because you're going to start stacking up L's like it's your fucking job, dummy. And it is your job because you took the head coaching job at Indiana. And that's number 1 on the to-do list as head coach at Indiana. Lose, stack L's, get used to it because you got a lot of them coming. Yeah, you actually have to play some ranked teams on your schedule this year. Dummy. So keep the SEC's name out of your mouth until you beat a ranked team. You never was and never will be dried up fucking yard turd. And what do I have Indiana ranked in my most recent top 25? 17 or 18 or 19, something like that. I think I had Indiana ranked when I did my I only do 3 top 25s in the offseason. I do one after signing day in February, one after the spring games, and one in August. So I still got one more to go. The one I did after the spring games, I think I had Indiana ranked somewhere between 16 and 20. When I do my next one in 2 weeks, first week of August, I'm doing my last sort of official preseason top 25. Indiana's not getting anywhere near my top 25. You know why? They're dog shit. That's why. They fucking suck. They're terrible. They're a joke. They're an absolute joke. And what's worse, they're not even good at basketball anymore. Indiana is basically Idaho without the potatoes. That's it. No one gives a fuck about Indiana. Nobody. Fuck Notre Dame, too.